Heists have always been part of cinema, from early train robberies to modern-day thrillers. Some became classics, others went almost unnoticed. And today, we're digging up 7 of those hidden gems. So, let's begin. 4 Kentucky college students, and 1 dropout, decide to turn their own lives into a real-life heist movie. It's December 2004, and they plan one of the most unusual art thefts ever attempted. The story itself is gripping, but what truly makes American Animal stand out is its structure, a mix of documentary and fiction told through a non-linear narrative that keeps you fully engaged. Director Bart Layton, known for The Imposter, creates something almost experimental here. He keeps the tension high while blending real interviews with dramatized scenes, so you stay invested in the characters even as the story jumps in time. The plot remains clear and easy to follow, with strong performances and layered characters. The film also touches on deeper questions about motivation and consequence. American Animals isn't your typical heist movie. It's sharp, unpredictable, and hard to forget. Among Christmas-themed heist films, The Silent Partner might be the most overlooked gem. The screenplay is sharp, original, and full of clever twists. While it never reached classic status, it offers plenty of standout moments, especially thanks to Christopher Plummer, who delivers one of the strongest performances of his career. Written by Curtis Hanson and directed by Daryl Duke, this remake of the Danish film Think of a Number turns a simple premise into a tense, intelligent thriller. The story follows Miles, a bank teller played by Elliot Gould, who finds a note announcing a planned robbery. Instead of alerting the police, he hides a large sum of money in his lunchbox. When the actual heist happens, Miles keeps the cash, only for the thief, a violent criminal named Harry, played by Plummer, to realize he's been tricked. Neil Jordan's The Good Thief is a modern remake of Jean-Pierre Melville's Bob le Flambeur, brought to life by the perfect casting of Nick Nolte. He plays Bob Montagnier, a worn-out gambler and small-time crook who plans one last big score on the French Riviera. Addicted to drugs but driven by instinct and pride, Bob assembles a team: Paulo, Raoul, Vladimir, Said, Anne, and twins Albert and Bertram, to pull off a daring heist targeting the Monte Carlo casino. The film has all the essential elements of a great caper: double crosses, hidden motives, and the thrill of trying to outsmart everyone else. But it's also much more, a story anchored by complex characters and a lead performance that feels tailor-made for Nolte. His weary charisma gives the film its edge and emotional weight. Visually stylish and rich in atmosphere, The Good Thief stays true to Melville's original spirit, while updating it for a new era. In 1950s communist Romania, a former police officer, played by Mark Strong, joins 4 Jewish accomplices to rob a bank. Their trick is bold and bizarre. They convince everyone inside that the robbery is actually a film shoot. When they're inevitably caught, the regime sentences them to death, but first forces them to reenact the crime for a propaganda movie. Based on a true story, Closer to the Moon blends dark humor with tragedy, offering a strange but fascinating take on the heist genre. Directed by Nay Carenfill, the film stands out for its unique premise, sharp writing, and strong performances from Mark Strong and Vera Farmiga. It's especially interesting to see Strong in a rare leading role where he isn't playing a villain. Director F. Gary Gray proved his skill with crime and action films long before The Italian Job. His earlier heist drama Set It Off may not be as widely known, but it remains one of his most engaging works. The story follows 4 women from different backgrounds who are all struggling financially. Tired of being pushed down by the system, they decide to start robbing banks. At first, their plan works. Then, mistrust and bad luck begin to tear them apart. Each character has her own motivation, and the cast delivers powerful performances, with Queen Latifah standing out in what might be her best dramatic role. The film sometimes leans too much on Jada Pinkett Smith's storyline, but the emotional weight and energy of the group keep it grounded. Set It Off blends action, humor, and heartbreak. It's exciting and tense, but also deeply human, with touches of friendship, love, and social commentary. Even at over 2 hours, it never drags. Directed by David Mamet, Heist didn't make much noise at the box office but later found its audience. The film is full of sharp, quotable lines and tight, deliberate pacing that gives familiar tropes new life. Joe Moore is a professional thief ready to retire after one last job goes wrong. But his partner and fence, Mickey Bergman, refuses to let him quit and pushes him into one final job, with Mickey's inexperienced nephew joining the crew. The film isn't about spectacle or big set pieces. It's about precision, control, and people trying to outthink each other. Despite its familiar title, The Great Train Robbery isn't about the infamous 1963 mail train heist. It's based on Michael Crichton's novel, itself inspired by the Great Gold Robbery of 1855, when a shipment of gold was stolen from a London to Paris train. Crichton also directed the film, which was released in the UK as the first Great Train Robbery to avoid confusion with the real-life case. The story is a fictionalized retelling of those events, set in meticulously recreated Victorian London. It takes its time building toward the heist, but the wait pays off. The film's period detail, costumes, and lively tone make the build-up as enjoyable as the crime itself. By the time the robbery unfolds, the film becomes irresistibly entertaining, a smart, old-fashioned caper that captures the spirit of adventure and the elegance of classic crime storytelling.